It occurred to me during the lesson for the quadratic formula that I referenced deriving the quadratic formula by completing the square. I thought some of you might be interested in seeing that this is not at all required. So if your intent was to watch as few videos as possible to finish chapter 4, you should stop this one right now. Otherwise, let's get into it. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 is our basic formula for a quadratic equation. And I'm going to now complete the square without sticking in numbers for a, b, and c in order to demonstrate how the quadratic formula is made. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract c to the other side because I find it annoying over here, negative c. Then I'm going to divide by a because, well, a is also annoying. So bx becomes b over a times x, and negative c becomes negative c over a. To complete the square, then, I have to take the middle term, b over a, and divide it by 2. That gives me b over 2a, and then I square it. That's the missing piece over here as part of completing the square. That is b over 2a squared, and if I'm going to add it on the left, I will have to add it on the right. This here I can just now factor as x plus b over 2a all squared, and then I don't have to write so much anymore. On this side, when I square b over 2a, I'm going to get b squared over 4a squared. I just square all the parts because it's multiplication. Now in order to add these together, I'm going to need a least common denominator. So I have to multiply this fraction by 4a on top and bottom. That gives me negative 4ac over 4a squared plus b squared over 4a squared. And you can start to see some parts of the quadratic formula taking shape here, because when I add these together I get b squared minus 4ac, although the bottom might not be familiar to you. And this side is still x equals b over 2a squared. So now I take the square root of both sides, and I get x plus b over 2a equals the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. But with any fraction, a square root, I can split that into a square root on top and a square root on the bottom. And the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of a squared is a. The final step then is to subtract b over 2a to the other side. So I get negative b over 2a. Oh, you know what I forgot to do was put plus or minus when I took the square root of both sides. So let me fill that in there. Square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. These have the same bottom already, so I'll stick them together. Opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. How about that?